Hello there, my fellow Criterion collectors. We find ourselves with some new Criterion announcements, and I know this year I have been saying every single month that this is the best month. However, for September we have, if you count them all, 9 different releases for the month. This is a great time to be a collector and a fan of the Criterion collection. So let's get straight into the first release. Naturally, we'll begin with the big one. And this was actually announced a few days before the usual announcements. It's the big Wes Anderson box set. It's called the Wes Anderson Archive 10 Films 25 Years. And as it says on the tin, this is all of his films from Bottle Rocket up to The French Dispatch in 4K, and this is a 20 disc set, so you get the 4K discs and the regular Blu-rays with all of the special features. This is obviously a huge deal, and we've seen Criterion do this in the past with the Ingmar Bergman cinema box set, the Agnes Varda set, other big releases like the Godzilla box set as well. But this is one that I think will capture a lot of the hearts of Criterion collectors, because Wes Anderson is a big part of the Criterion collection, and for many people that has been their way into collecting this particular label and also collecting films in general. I've heard that from so many people that watch my channel, that their first discs were typically Rushmore or the Royal Tenenbaums. Starting with those films, they then got into collecting. And this is absolutely a release that I'm getting because I love the films of Wes Anderson. And so many of these films I just have so many great memories of. In fact, almost 10 years ago, I went with one of my friends to an all-night marathon of all of Wes Anderson's films, which up to that point, it was The Grand Budapest Hotel was the latest film. And yeah, I slept through some of the films because I just couldn't stay up for that amount of time. But that was a very memorable experience. I have revisited these so many times over the years, and I will be doing so again, but this time in 4K. Obviously, it remains to be seen whether these 4K discs will be massive improvements over the existing Blu-rays, except, of course, for Isle of Dogs and The French Dispatch, which do not yet have a release in the Criterion collection, but at the same time as the box set, we are getting standalone releases for those two as well. So if you're someone who's not interested in 4K and you just want Blu-ray and you already have the existing Blu-rays, then you can buy those two separately. And I think a lot of people will be doing that, so it's very nice that those two films are not exclusively locked to this particular box set. So that's the Wes Anderson Archive. I really like how the box set looks from the pictures that are on Criterion's website. It is retailing at almost $500 US, but I hope that this is included in the regular 50% off sales from Criterion themselves or through Barnes & Noble. So I imagine a lot of people will be getting this during sale times, and I think this is a great thing. I just can't wait to see what this set is like. Next up, something else that is huge for me is This Is Spinal Tap getting a 4K release from Criterion. And this is not the first time this has been a part of the Criterion collection, because it did have an older DVD and perhaps even a Laserdisc at one point, but it never got a Blu-ray, so to see it coming back to the collection on 4K is absolutely superb. This is perhaps the film that has made me laugh more than any other film that has ever existed, save for perhaps Austin Powers. And that says an awful lot. I've seen this film so many times, I could probably recite every single line to you right now, but I won't do that. But it is a highly quotable film, incredibly funny. I love everyone involved here. It has great direction from Rob Reiner, but the central 3 actors here, the characters, these are iconic performances. This film was also my introduction to the work of Christopher Guest, who would go on to direct his own mockumentaries. He's made so many great ones, including my favourite, Waiting for Guffman. So if you like This Is Spinal Tap, do try some of his films, because I think they carry forth the spirit of Spinal Tap, and yeah, I just love them. This is a 3-disc set with the 4K UHD presentation that has Dolby Vision HDR, and they've included all of the commentaries that are very famous at this point. There's a great commentary where the actors do the commentary as the characters from the film, as if they're watching like an old tour video, and it's just superb. I mean, that's like almost watching another film in and of itself. that makes me laugh as much as the main film, to be honest. There are some other special features on here as well. They all seem to be taken from previous releases of the film, except for a conversation between Rob Reiner and Patton Oswalt. So I guess my only thing here is I would love to have seen some more special features here, maybe another new commentary to commemorate this Criterion 4K release. But alas, that wasn't to be, but I can't wait to revisit this film on 4K. In September, we're also getting a 4K upgrade of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low. And this is very timely because, I don't know if you know, Spike Lee has made a new version of this film, an adaptation, I guess, starring Denzel Washington. So I can't wait to see that version of this story. If you haven't seen this film, this is one you absolutely must see. Because sometimes people think Kurosawa just did the whole samurai thing, but he also made a whole bunch of other films that are absolutely superb, but which dealt with other characters, different times and places. And this is such a great crime film. As per usual, this Criterion 4K upgrade seems to have the same artwork as the older Blu-ray release, all of the same special features as well. And again, as has been a trend recently, the Criterion 4K will not have HDR on the 4K disc. So for some people that might be a bit of a sticking point. So we will see what this looks like when it comes out. But this just has me excited. This is a great film, and just to celebrate this film once again with a brand new release, just has me very excited. Then we have the animated film Flow coming to 4K and Blu-ray. Now this is one that I have not yet seen, but I've heard so many great things about this film. It won the Academy Award, I think, for Best Animated Film, and this has had a lot of buzz around it. I think this was originally slated to be one of the Janus Contemporaries releases, but because of the huge success of the film, they kind of bumped it up to the main Criterion collection. So I really can't tell you much about the film yet because I haven't seen it, but this looks like a great release because there are a bunch of special features about the making of this film, and there is also another feature film from the director. So I'm very much looking forward to finally seeing Flow when it gets released. Then we have a Blu-ray release of the film Born in Flames, a film by Lizzie Borden. Now I have to admit, rather ignorantly, I don't know much about this film, but as I usually do when I discover a film that I know nothing about, I go and look it up on various websites, on Letterboxd, and I've seen people talking so highly with glowing reviews of this film, so it's clearly a very important piece of cinema. So I won't linger too much on this because I don't know much about it, but it seems like with the Criterion release, this is a 2K restoration on the Blu-ray. You have an introduction with the director, a brand new audio commentary with the director and other collaborators, and then you also get the director's debut film, which is an experimental documentary. So it seems like a great value release, and I can't wait to see this. Then we have a 4K release of the French film Read My Lips. This is from 2001 from French director Jacques Audiard. Now this is a film I've not seen, but I have seen some of the other works from the filmmaker, including A Prophet, which is an absolutely amazing film. So I have high hopes for this, but I will be going in sort of blind, not really knowing too much about it. It's taken from a new 4K digital restoration with Dolby Vision HDR and some special features on there. So again, I can't wait to see this one. This is going to fill in another gap in a filmmaker's filmography, because something I like to do is when I find a filmmaker whose works I connect with or that thrill me, excite me, I like to go back and see everything they've made, not expecting to like all of it, but just to kind of give some context to where they started off and where they went to. I know the most recent film from the filmmaker was that film Emilia Perez, which was nominated for a load of Academy Awards, but was pretty much unanimously hated by critics and fans alike. So I do wonder if we would ever see that film come to the collection. Probably not, but you never know. And then sticking with Jacques Audiard, we have The Beat That My Heart Skipped. But interestingly, this is only on a Blu-ray, not on a 4K disc. This film has had Blu-ray releases in the past. I think I have a Artificial Eye Blu-ray somewhere in my collection. And this seems to just be taken from an HD master. So that's obviously the reason why there is no 4K disc. But this is a great film about this guy who is struggling with coming from this shady background, but he reconnects with classical piano. And I've not seen this film in a very long time, so that's about all I can remember from it. But I will be revisiting this when it gets this Criterion release. There is a new interview with Jacques Audiard on this release, but then there are just some other existing features that have been out there in the past. And that about does it for September's Criterion Collection announcements. If you count those separate releases of Isle of Dogs and The French Dispatch, we have 9 releases for the month of September. I can't remember when that has ever happened in all of my time covering the Criterion Collection on this channel. So clearly things seem to be going well at Criterion HQ, and I am all for having more releases, especially if some of the bigger, more wider appealing films can help fund some of the more niche, forgotten gems of cinematic history. Then yes, I am all for it. But if you do have any particular thoughts about these films and these releases, please do let me know in a comment down below, because I love hearing your opinions on these announcements as well. And of course we have the Criterion Collection sale coming next month. It's July, 50% off at Barnes & Noble. So yes, this is a great time to be a fan of the Criterion Collection and movies in general. Click the video that's on screen right now if you want more of me talking movies and physical media. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.